hard for me to find time. So if you're new to my Instagram and my YouTube, my name is Alyssa. Please check out all of my stuff, all of my content. For people who've been here for a while, thank you so much for staying connected, because it has been, I don't even know how long it's been since I actually posted up a video. So I definitely want to start by thanking everyone. My page, my Instagram page, which honestly I made, it was such a fluke. I started all of this by making YouTube, and I just thought, like, how am I going to get my YouTube off the ground? And it just made so much sense. Like, I'll just make an Instagram. And my Instagram, like, I did a podcast a little bit ago, and when I was talking to the person who ran the podcast, he said, oh, your YouTube is very personal, but your Instagram isn't. And it's not personal in the sense that, I go in there and I share a lot of what it is that I'm feeling and stuff like that, but very much like those quotes, if I post a quote, more than likely I am experiencing, or I have somebody that I've spoken to recently that has experienced something like that, and it's just like very much a support that I want to give to people so that they don't have to feel what it is that I felt either currently or in the past. So it may not be super personal like a lot of other people's Instagrams, but it's as personal to me as I feel like I can get on a platform like Instagram. But anyway, so the Instagram I made on November 30th, 2018, and it was like November 1st of this year when I reached 10,000 followers, and that is like so amazing to me, how it is that many people can understand and want to come back and see what it is what message I'm giving the next day, or whatever the case is. It definitely gives me hope, and I was super excited when I hit that 10,000. I wanted to make a video then, but I just couldn't. It's like every time I put the camera on, I just can't. I don't know. It's hard. A lot is going on. But I definitely wanted to start the video by thanking everybody. It's like so amazing, and I'm so happy that you guys can hear whatever message it is that I'm trying to give. For the new people, please check me out on YouTube. I have a lot of videos, personal videos, but I also have videos that I have other people share. So that's one of the first things that I want to say outside of thanking everyone. Like, the whole point of why I made this YouTube is because I very much felt like my story was kind of, it had to be watered down in almost every single sense, like when it comes to my friends or my family or my work, my life. It's just very much like, oh no, we can't take 100% of what it is that you've gone through, to the point that I felt like I couldn't share it. And that's where RawRecoveryTalk came from. It's like, I don't want to water it down. I don't want for people to feel like they have to water down their story. Like, when we use, it's very raw. When we have our, mental health issues, it's very raw. Like, people can't handle it, but why should we have to tone it down just because people can't, they don't get it, they don't want to get it, or they just can't, they don't understand it. So I'm always looking for videos, always. I always ask for videos. It's kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes I'll get 10, 15. Like, one time I had like 30 people say, like, I'm going to send you a video, I'm going to send you a video. And it doesn't come. I get it. I do get it, because I have a lot of stuff that I go through too. It's complicated sometimes to just sit down and make a video. But that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. I like to share stories so that maybe somebody can start to change, their mindset. Like when I was working in recovery and outpatient, and I would have like a client that I'm like, they're just not getting it. They're not getting it. Like I had a supervisor who would say, yeah, but you're planting the seed, like you're a small part in what it is their bigger story is going to be. So hopefully one day when they do get it, they'll say, oh, Alyssa said that, like, oh, Alyssa helped me way back when. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to bring. I'm trying to bring some awareness, some understanding. I'm trying to take away the stigma. I'm trying to put it in your face. Like, this is what's going on. And if we don't take a bigger look at it now, it's going to be a problem. For many people, it already is a problem. Like, definitely for me, my everything, my use, my everything it was a problem. And it may not have been a problem outward to other people, but it was definitely a problem to me. So that kind of is going to lead into what it is that I want to share today. The reason why I have not been posting is because I have been so in my own head. Like, so much stuff has gone on, and some good stuff and some bad stuff. And for people who have anxiety and who've had like a history of trauma, sometimes they catastrophize. Like, that's like the clinical word for it. But like for me, it's like, I have small victories, but my whatever issue I feel is very much like what's present. Like, I've been going through a lot. If you've been here for a little bit, like, I'm getting my PhD, I work full-time, I am a full-time mom, I have twin toddlers. It's so hard. And like, I've always been that person. Like, I'm just gonna take on so much stuff because like I know I can handle it, to kind of make the serious issues go away. Like, I'm gonna focus on this, and this is what needs my attention. So because of that, it's like my attention is everywhere instead of being able to focus on one thing. For a while, my focus was very much like on my work. Like, this is my work, this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna do. And then I started to feel like, even within the field, like, people didn't understand it. And it's so unfortunate because I still technically work in the field, but I don't work the way that I used to, directly with the clients and running groups and doing assessments and, helping to get them the correct level of care. If I can't give it, if my whatever agency I work for doesn't give it, like, pushing for the person to go elsewhere. Like, now I'm not doing that. It's different. It's really different when I'm doing it. But the reason why I stopped doing that was because I just felt like, people still didn't get it. Like, people were just like, all right, Alyssa, like, this is not your life, this is their life. And if they're not going to do it, like, why are you pushing so hard? And that's not why I chose to be in this field, So I took a step back in hopes that I can get my mindset onto what it is that I really want to do and how it is that I'm going to make a change and make a difference. Like, it's so crazy to me. I had somebody tell me once, like, you're not gonna make a difference. Like, you're one small piece of the bigger picture, and like, no one's gonna listen to you. And that offended me so much. But for me to actually realize that that's like, it's so difficult to be able to make such a positive change because either people don't care for the positive change, because other people aren't pushing for it the same way that I'm pushing for it, or because I kind of seem like a fanatic. Like, if you talk to me, sometimes people are like, you're a lot to handle. I'm like, yeah, I'm a lot to handle, but I also don't feel like it's something that's so unrealistic. Like, I don't understand why it is that people still have such a stigma when it comes to addiction. Like, there's no reason why addiction should still be such a dirty word. Like, there's no reason why people shouldn't just say, like, I have a problem, and this is a problem that I need help with, like, or whatever mental health issue, like, this is what's going on. Like, it shouldn't be embarrassing. And I was diagnosed with postpartum depression, and that for me to even get help, like literally I was in the doctor's office crying, like hysterical crying, like nobody wants to help me. I don't understand why it is no one is helping me. Like, I'm not trying to just get medication prescribed and like I'm gonna use it in any type of way. Like, I just need a diagnosis. Like, I know that I have it, and like the doctor literally just looked at me like, I can't help you with that. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it shouldn't be that way. But it still very much is that way. And so because of that, sometimes life gets the best of me, and sometimes it's like, what am I doing? Like, I feel like every so often I go through like an existential crisis. What am I doing? Like, I've spent years trying to get somewhere in this field, like so many years. I can't even think about it. And so much money, and like here I am feeling very stuck. And that's definitely what I've been going through. I'm getting my PhD, and I just feel like this was something that I felt so strongly about. Like, I'm gonna get my PhD because you have to listen to somebody who has so much education. Like, you have to. I wanted to be able to open my mouth and say, this is what it is that we need, and for people to not like think that I'm doing too much or saying too much or whatever the case is. And then it got to the point where I had to choose my topic for my dissertation, and I had to change it so much, and that's fine because the first topic, it would have been nice to do that, but it was in the field I was working in. I'm not even working in that field anymore. So the fact that I changed that, like, it was difficult, but it is what it is. And then I chose another topic, and it ended up being like, oh, that's not gonna work, so then I chose another topic, which should have been my first topic. And this topic is very important to me. And I just feel like everywhere I was turning, it was like, no, you can't do that. It's not good enough. You have to do this. You have to do that. And I felt like such a sellout. Like, on a personal level, this is why I left the addiction field, because I felt like I did not want to become a sellout. There's so many people who they go into the field and they're green, it's their first job, they feel like they're going to change the world, and then they realize they can't. So you have one of two options. You can either keep on fighting and look like you're being insubordinate, or you have this like superhero syndrome. Like, these are literally things that I've been told. Like, I have to tone it down. And I'm not just told this by clients, because like, yeah, my clients, a lot of them would be like, you're doing too much. And they didn't get it, and that's fine, because I work with people who are still using, and for me to be like in their face, and this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna change their mindset, and they don't want to hear that. So that's understanding. Or even like people on my level, for them to not get it. But I've been told by people higher ups, like program directors, supervisors, like, this is not what we do here. And so I refuse to sell out. I refuse to become like them, and to almost be robotic, like not care. And like, that's so crazy to me, because we are literally in the field of caring. So how is it that you're going to tell me that I cannot care? So when it came to school, like, I told myself, I am not going to sell out. Like, the money that I spent to get this education, You're not going to tell me that I cannot focus on what I want to focus on. So I fought. And my topic was approved. I'm able to start my dissertation. Not this year. The beginning of next year. And that, as crazy as it sounds to me, it's a small victory. Because everything that's really going on in my life, like, school it's a lot. It's a hassle for me right now to find time to sit down, to do my work or whatever. And like something that I should be celebrating, like the fact that I was able to do what it is that I want to focus, what it is that I want to focus on, you know, start my career as a researcher, as somebody more serious, the way that I want to do it rather than just the way that I'm being told to do so. That should not be a small victory. But it's like when I have stuff completely piled up, like to me it's just like, all right, this is something now taken care of. Now I can focus on other stuff. I don't like that. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make me, feel like I am where it is that I need to be. I am where I should be, because I know what it is that I can give. I know what it is that I can do. Like, even at a bad point in my life, like, I built this Instagram and this YouTube to a place that in my wildest dreams, I never thought that I would be where I am, sharing my story so openly. It's just like, it's a lot. It really is a lot. And I'm a big advocate for therapy. I love therapy. I think that everybody should go. Everybody has something that they have to, get out. And I'm not even able to go to therapy. I hate that. Sorry, my mouth is dry. It's so complicated. And like, I come on here and I tell myself, like, all right, I'm gonna push, I'm gonna get back into it. This Instagram means so much to me. It is literally one of my biggest accomplishments. Being able to share in a space where, I'm scared, and having other people share in a space where they're not scared. And my anxiety, I'm gonna say it's just my anxiety, that has been pushing me the complete opposite direction, because I'm just so anxious. I'm so scared of what it is that can happen with my life, because I like to know, I like to say, like, this is what I want, and this is the steps I'm going to take to get there. And right now it's like, no matter what it is that I want, no matter what steps I feel like I can take, it's not something that's attainable just because of everything that's been happening. It's so hard. Like, and I take pride in the fact that I'm able to, say, all right, I have a problem and I need help. But I just don't know, like, where to go, because there's almost nothing that can be done. I have to just continue to push through, but it's hard. Like, it's so hard when all, like, so many negative thoughts are there, and it's like, is this gonna be good enough? Like, am I good enough? Like, is my message good enough? I know it's there, you know, like there's a huge part of me that knows that this is just a rough patch, and then as long as I can push through, you know, persevere, it'll just be something that I look back on and I'm like, I can't believe that I let it get to that point. But like living in the moment is so hard. I'm not sure how many of you guys watch the podcast. I have it on my I forget what it's called. The Instagram. It's not the story, it's the other one. But I have it. I posted it up there, and when I did that was about the time that I started to realize that my upbringing led to a lot of codependency, and it's something that I'm starting to work on. And I think that that's where a lot of the uncertainty comes from, is that, you know, I've always had kind of like a backup plan. I've always had somebody in my corner, and I always thought it was like a cheerleader, you know, like I have somebody who's gonna say like, it's gonna be okay, don't worry, if you don't have it, I got it. And that's because that's, you know, I've built myself to have that around me. And then I came to the realization that it's not healthy, and it's not helping me if I, you know, always have a safety net. Like, you shouldn't necessarily just, you know, make a crazy decision and just jump into it and be like, who cares what the outcome is going to be. But you also shouldn't always allow for somebody else to have a hands-all in you and your life. And I've been getting there. Like, I definitely have been getting there, but it was such a slow process, like too slow, because I didn't prepare for what it is that was going to happen in my life. That happened, and now I feel very stuck. And having, you know, being forced now to fix it and to live without a person there to just be like, no, it's okay, don't worry, you know, and being aware that there's still people who want to be like that, you know, and they may not necessarily mean well. I mean, they may not mean bad. Like, I posted one day, like, toxic people aren't always like the people who are there constantly, like, in your face, you're bad, you're wrong, don't do this. Sometimes they're the people that are there that are saying, don't worry, even if you do fail, it's going to be okay. And like, slowly I've been getting rid of people like that in my life. And it's unfortunate because people like that, whether they mean to or not, they kind of got their grips in you. Like, definitely me, you know, like, people had they kind of had me to a point where it's like, you know, am I even going to be okay if this person's not there? And I think that's a big problem of what it is that I'm going through now. Like, I'm okay. Like, you see me, I'm fine. But like, in the back of my head, it's like, what if I fail? Like, what about my kids? And I don't want for them to be like that. I don't want for them to feel like they can't be independent. And it's really hard. Like, I was what's called like a polysubstance user, you know? Like, I liked to drink. I liked to smoke. I took pills. But this, you know, having a unhealthy connection to people is the hardest thing. that I've had to understand. And that's like definitely where I am right now, you know? I still feel very strongly about my sobriety. I'm happy I'm sober. I don't think that I ever would have been able to at least get to this point if I wasn't sober. And that's saying a lot, because this point still doesn't feel good. But I don't think that I even would have been able to say, like, all right, this is not okay. Like, I need to completely detach myself and figure out, you know, what's healthy for me, what I feel okay with, what I'm not okay with. But it's very much a struggle. And it's interesting because I always had an idea in my head of how it is that I was going to discuss codependency on this channel. And I always told myself, like, I'm going to bring up my old relationship because it was so codependent. It was so unhealthy. It, you know, gave me PTSD so bad. Diagnosed PTSD. Not just me saying, like, oh my God, it was so traumatic. Like, I literally had to go to therapy to understand what it is that I experienced. And I never would have thought that I would have made a video about codependency about, like, my actual life in the moment, because I didn't even realize how bad it was until it wasn't in my face constantly for me to be like, oh, wait a second, like, this is not okay. On the flip side of that, I definitely see now that my support system is not so much in quantity, but most definitely in quality. I have people that are looking out for my well-being, and even though I struggle on, I am gonna say, a daily basis, I can reach out and I can say, like, today is not a good day, you know, I need something, I need anything or whatever, and they'll be there definitely to pick me up, and that feels good to know that, you know, I have people in my corner even after separating myself from the people who I thought were in my corner. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say today. Please share your story with me. I'm here. I want to start to post stories again. You can give me a 1-minute video. You can give me an hour-long video. Like, I will take anything. Definitely want to start to put it out there again. Thank you guys.